All right, guys. So to finish out P Z prime, so that's going to be our last one right here. So we are going -1, 5. So that's going to be -1 and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is going to be the coordinate for Z prime. So all we have to do is connect the dots, and that gives us our triangle that's been rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise about point P. And so the last step you have to do is find out and write down what those coordinates are. So when you guys are doing the practice problems, there's only two problems, I think, but make sure you're just finding the coordinates. There's a lot of steps, a lot of things you have to follow, but just finding the coordinates in the end. So the coordinates for x prime, y prime, and z prime are, if we just look, x prime's at -4, 5. Y prime's at -2, 9. And then z prime is at 0, 7. Okay, so you're good to go. All right, guys. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through and do 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do 4 with you. Okay, I'm going to do 4 and 5. So if we look at 4, I'm going to pause the video and graph these coordinates because, guys, on this, if you haven't noticed already, when you're graphing these, you're going to have to use Desmos, okay? So please, like I can write on my screen, but for you guys, just use Desmos, count, and then that way you're able to write it in vector form, and then you're going to be able to count. I just use your finger and, plot the new point, okay? So use Desmos when you're solving these, okay? All right, guys. So following our steps, this was step 1. We plotted the points and plotted the point of rotation. So next thing is we're going to set up our vectors. So we have vector K A, vector K B, all right, and vector K C because K is the point of rotation, A, B, and C are the vertices. So next thing we need to do is we got to figure out our vectors in component form. So if we count from K over to A, we are going this time in a negative direction. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over in a negative direction. That's going to be -5 because vectors can be negative because it's a direction and a magnitude. And then 1, 2, 3 down. That's going to be in a negative y direction. That's going to be -3, okay? So for this, our vector is -5 because that's our x component, -3 because that's our y component, okay? So I'm going to do those for the following KB, KC. So KB, we're going 1 in the positive direction. All right, and then 2 down. So that's going to be 1, -2. All right, and KC is going to be, we're going to go in the negative x direction, -4, down 8. So it's going to be -4, -8. So for this one, we're saying 180 degrees. So our rule for 180 degrees, all right, is, and again, it's you got to have that rule sheet handy somewhere. So we go from x comma y to -x, -y. So they don't move position, they just change signs. So when we change all the signs for these vectors, okay, so it's going to move to vector k a prime. That vector is going to be 5, 3. When we move to k b prime, that is going to be -1, 2. And then when we move to KC prime, that is going to be 4, 8. So just change the sign, use this rule down here. All right. So in doing that, we just have to set up our A prime, B prime, and C prime and find the coordinates for that. So doing this, if we're going to do KA prime first, that means we are going 5, 3. Okay, so 5, 3. So we're going to finish this one up in the next video.